Speedway Tavern. Enjoy your stay. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. What's the news today? Have a drink, have your say.
Can you remember the halcyon days when on this programme we approached a new season with anticipation? Me, Chris and the young and Master Buck giving predictions that were invariably wrong about this coming season. We would usually do that right at the beginning of March. Well, 31 days into March, we can now finally, thankfully, do the same rubbish predictions. Some things never change. And we should say, welcome to the blue, white and orange of the Foxes, only in Speedway. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Did you notice I managed to get in quite a few difficult words there that you probably didn't understand? Halcyon, anticipation, invariably. I'm pleased with that one.
Been gelling up.
Somebody got a dictionary.
Yeah.
Or thesaurus, they should say.
There's no dinosaurs here. Right. I guess that's the only place we can start, isn't it?
Yes,
really?
we know the team now.
We know the team. We know what they're called.
We know the promoter. So
I'm guessing you because you normally have you got the team in front of you there?
I have indeed, yes.
Okay, let's go through it.
Okay, they did go for it. Just unfortunately, he's on the wrong page. Hang on a minute.
Okay.
Right, so the Northampton team is Niels Christian Everson, Nikolai Clint, Matty Zagar, Jamon Lidsey, Kai Thompson, Troy Batchelor, and Luke Harrison. Obviously, that is not necessarily the riding order. To be confirmed in due course.
Number one being Jamon Lidsey.
It's going to be Jamon Lidsey, yeah. Big, obviously, step for him. He's, of course, been a third heat leader or stroke second string for Bellevue during his time in the UK. So, opportunity for him now to see whether he can make the step up. And, of course, it's going to be a big step up, particularly on a track that nobody's ever seen before.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Like, so.
Yeah, my initial reactions to the team were, I said it earlier, didn't I? This is this year's Birmingham. It feels very much like that. Would you agree, disagree?
It's difficult to say, I think, at this stage. Of course, you talk with Birmingham, you were talking about an established track and the Birmingham team that, of course, over the previous 3 or 4 seasons had been struggling for any sort of momentum. Well, they had momentum, but it was the wrong sort of momentum, hadn't they? I think it was always going to be a tall order. It
was inertia, not a momentum.
I think it's always going to be a tall order for Northampton. Declaring that they were going to run late. Obviously, everybody else had been ahead of their team building. I would imagine there would have been discussions with riders.
Again, what does that remind you of?
Birmingham.
It's the same thing, isn't it? And there's obviously Birmingham involvement from last year when you got
Paul Hudson,
Susan,
and Chris Adams, his team manager.
Yeah. The one thing that I will say, it does feel very like Birmingham. However, I don't think the league is as strong this year.
No, I don't think it is. Obviously, there's a lot of big hitters missing. Of course, Seifert and Doyle particularly missing from the Ipswich team. Dan Bewley and Brady Curtis still there, as is Max Frick, of course, although he's made the move to King's Lynn. Of course, now that we know the full line for the top tier, we can obviously start to sort of make some sort of predictions for how we think that league's going to go. I think it's going to be difficult for Northampton. I think it would have been good, to have seen, with all due respect to the riders there, maybe a big hitter. Of course, the budget would have obviously been a massive.
Where are you going to get that big hitter from? That's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah, as I say, declaring late. And I think this is in a position really where we've had this too many times in recent seasons where you've had teams that have declared late that they're going to run. You can't really have that situation, especially when you want to try and sign riders. I mean, you look at the Polish clubs, I don't think you get to a situation where Polish clubs are only talking to riders in January or February. They're talking to riders June or July the previous year for next season. So they're ahead of the game in that sense. Whereas obviously in the UK, it's almost like it's sort of put together on the back of a cigarette packet, isn't it? Sometimes,
but I mean, to be fair, most of the teams started signing riders as soon as they could. Things were the waters were muddied because of the Ipswich situation and the 6th team situation. Nobody knew who, why, what, where.
Well, everybody knew. We knew who it was. We just didn't. So
exactly. That's only in Speedway. They can't do that next year.
No, they've got to be in a position now where, and I've read something on the forums there that they're already making plans for 2027.
I had heard that.
That absolutely needs to happen.
But I've heard that before.
We have heard that before, unfortunately. So
yeah.
I wish Northampton well. It's a completely new thing really for them. As I say, Northampton Speedway there's not been any Speedway in Northampton since the mid '60s. So, and I think they needed a strong team. I think they needed a good season, really. A season where they're at least competitive.
They need to be competitive. Yeah. I would agree with that.
What did for Birmingham was the fact that they seemed to lose every week at home. Was the real problem, because at the end of the day,
easily
85% of your supporters only see the home matches. So if your team is not winning matches in front of their own fans, you've got a problem.
I mean, there were numerous times last year. And gosh, I don't want to keep going about Birmingham because that's done and dusted now. But there were times last year when match was over after the second heat.
I think I think the problem was, and you've said this yourself, there were times last season when you went to Perry Bar and you were thinking you'd rather be somewhere else. And that's not a healthy position to have.
No, for somebody like me to say that, you just highlighted a comment there, Chris, and it's disappeared. I was just about to. Okay. I don't know who said it because you've hid that a little bit. Is it worth going to Northampton as a neutral? Petrol admission. Just to watch these kind of teams, for me, no. That's sort of the problem.
That's going to be a major problem.
Nutshell.
That is going to be a major problem. They've got no home fan base. Haven't seen a lot. I mean, obviously, in the recent weeks. I mean, I've seen Hans Nielsen was there yesterday. They're having a look around, so that maybe will get them a little bit of publicity.
They need publicity.
If people in Northampton know who Hans Nielsen is, to be fair, I mean, it seems a stupid thing because Hans is a legend. But if it's just somewhere where there's not been Speedo for a long time, even before he was riding, then
I mean, you make fair points. So they're called the Foxes. What are we feeling about that? I think from what I've read on the old BSF and other places, people are fairly underwhelmed by that.
It's a nice logo. I like the logo.
Yes.
It's probably the best logo of all the teams in the top league, I think. So, and obviously it's new. Yeah, we haven't had a club that's been called Foxes for a number of years. I don't think there's a club called the Foxes in my lifetime nickname. So it's a new thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So Pete Clark says, "Don't mention Birmingham and done and dusty."
Yes. Yeah. Certainly dusty. That's definitely a thing from last week. So
that was. Thanks for that, Pete. Okay, so that being said, shall we go through the teams and make our laughable predictions? It gets easier every year to make these predictions, mainly because there's less teams.
It gets shorter, doesn't it? So. Okay, so we will go starting off with the Bellevue Aces. So they line up with, and of course they've already had a meeting last night. They line up with Dan Bewley, Norrie Bladorn, Peter Kilderman, Zach Cook, Tate Zisk, Brady Kurtz, and William Cairns is their rising star. I mean, certainly the first thing that stands out for Bellevue is the top two in Bewley and Kurtz. Clearly, the two strongest riders in the league. Okay, Max Frick's in there as well for Kings Lynn, and obviously Jack Calder with Sheffield. So, but I think a lot of those meetings there, Bellevue are going to be one of those teams where if they're got a decent lead, if they've got a sort of 6-point lead going into the last two, with Bewley and Kurtz coming in 2 of the last 3 heats,
they needed. It was the last heat decider last night.
They did need them. Yeah, absolutely. So,
and they did need them. So
well, I think from what was said by Mark Lemon, Brady Kurtz was suffering from a few issues last night in terms of feeling under the weather.
But we should say get well soon, Norrie Bladorn as well.
Because he had a bad, and of course that's the second one, obviously following Charles Wright's crash last week. So, but that's a strong team. I think Bellevue have been right in the mix for the last sort of 5 or 6 years now, haven't they? And whatever people say at Bellevue, I mean, I've heard a lot of people say at Bellevue they've got no home track advantage. They have got a home track advantage, clear home track advantage.
They have a home engine advantage.
Absolutely,
is the I would say.
Yep.
But possibly the team that they have least advantage over would be Sheffield.
Yep.
in that
absolutely
case. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Strong team. 2 GP riders, 2 good GP riders. We'll come to predictions where we're going to place them, but obviously you would be out of your mind not to say they're going to make the playoffs.
Absolutely, yeah.
They've sort of taken over the mantle in that division really from Paul.
Yeah, they
as
have
the place where riders want to go.
Yeah, new track, obviously, probably a track that's highly regarded by a lot of riders. And of course, Bellevue, it's a great name, isn't it? It's one of the, it is probably the most iconic speedway club in the country. It's probably the most unique name of any speedway club in the country, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah. So, interesting to see how Will Cairns does as well. He's obviously made a lot of progress in recent seasons. Peter Kilburn, I think, is going to be a key man as well because, on his day,
his sort of track, of course.
His sort of track. Obviously, he's not a young man anymore, admittedly, but if his mind's on it, he's still a very, very capable rider, still a really exciting rider to watch as well. So, but obviously, I think a key is going to be how long they're going to be without Norrie Bladone. So. So let's move on then to the defending champions, the Ipswich Witches, finally declaring there a few weeks ago. So they line up with Scott Nichols, making a return to his, what you would say, I think is his spiritual home. Mm-hmm. Danny King, Tom Brennan, Richard Lawson, Tobias Muslak, Philip Hellstrom Bangs, and their rising star is Jason Edwards.
Okay, there's been a lot written about Ipswich not... I mean, how do you replace Jason Doyle and Emil Saifutinov is the first question. And you don't. You
don't replace them, not their big points that they were scoring.
No.
But I think in terms of the league that we've got this season, a lot of people are writing Ipswich off. I think that's a quite solid. It's not got the big hitting strength that they had.
No,
last season.
Quite solid.
I'll be interested to see what their crowds are like this season because they've had three or four really, really terrific years. And obviously having Doyle and Saifutinov there, they certainly wouldn't have come cheap. So Ipswich needed big crowds, I think, to sort of subsidise what they would have been paying them. Scott Nichols, obviously, lots of people suggesting that this might be Scotty's last season. The fact that he's gone back to Ipswich, which of course is, obviously he's an Ipswich boy.
How old is he now?
48, I think, Scott. So
that's not bad going to still be in that, that on that level.
Yeah, of course, obviously no TV, of course, for the league this season, so that's possibly another reason why maybe he's taken the plunge to have one more crack at the Premiership. Tobias Muslak, I think, might be the key man because if he gets back to the Tobias Muslak that we saw at Sheffield and Swindon, then...
And we did see occasionally last year.
He didn't tend to do very well in heat number one, did he? But
no. But he won't have that problem this year. That problem will belong to Mr. Brennan.
I have to confess, I've seen very little of Hellstrom Bangs, so obviously I'm sure
there's a lot of noise about him, isn't there? Ironically,
yeah.
I'm interested to see how he goes, but I'm hearing that he might be, maybe a bit of a find. We shall see.
Yep, of course. So, but again, I would put Ipswich in the top four myself.
I think I've got them. I think they will be in my top four as well.
Okay, so let's move on now to the Kings Lynn Stars. So they line up with Chris Harris, Jan Kovac, Max Frick, Cooper Russian, Ben Cook, Paco Castagna, and their rising star is Jody Scott. Nice
to see Paco with a ride in the top league.
Yep, absolutely.
I think the guy is box office, and he's not in the sense of that he's going to beat everybody, but just the way he reacts to the crowd and reacts with the crowd.
Always interacts with the crowd well, doesn't he?
So, you'll enjoy him.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's bigger track would suit him or not. We will find out.
See, I think this is a sort of track that probably. I mean, it's obviously a bigger track than Birmingham was. It's obviously the last few years. Of course, he's been racing for Edinburgh, which is obviously a smaller track. Cooper Russian, obviously, I think there was a lot of noise about him last season. I was really impressed with him the couple of times I saw him at Perrybar.
Me too.
Very reminiscent, I thought, of in style.
But let's be honest, we was impressed with everybody that rode against us at Perry Bar last year.
Absolutely, yeah. Although, to be fair, the Bulls didn't do too badly, did they?
That's
really,
true.
In fairness, they were certainly more competitive than the senior team were. Very much reminds me of Adam Skornicki, Cooper Russian, obviously with the tassels and things like that, and maybe it was a little bit in the racing style. Bomber, I mean, he's just like fine wine, isn't he? He just you never write him off field. Just
Another box office,
Yep.
just because of the way he races.
Yeah, I think there's some exciting potential in that side. Jankovic, I think, was solid last season. Probably didn't do quite as well as a lot of people were expecting, as he made a big impact when he came in the season before. Max Frick, obviously, I think Kingsley obviously now brought in a genuine number one. I'm a bit wary because last couple of seasons I've been very heart-spoken well of Kingsley's teams, but they've not tended to do as well as people expected them to do. But I think that's a pretty solid side. Kingsley.
I think you're right there. I'm not entirely. I'm umming and ahhing between them and another team at the moment, whether they're going to make whether I feel so.
I think home form is going to be key for everybody else as well. Kingsley in particular. I mean, it's a track that's traditionally has never had a great home track advantage. He's probably, I think in terms of racing, it's probably not at the level it was 20, 25 years ago. I've seen a lot of meetings there in the past that have been great meetings, but not so much in the last few seasons. But hopefully they can sort of get back to that as well.
Okay. We have a question which I'm just going to totally unrelated to what we do, but Dave Albrighton wants to know, have Birmingham Council been fined for knocking down Perry Bar? And it's a very short answer. No, not as far as I'm aware anyway.
No.
I don't think they will.
I know well.
Yeah.
That's gone.
Yeah. But anyway, sorry, carry on.
Okay, so let's move on then to the Leicester Lions, of course, runners-up last season. So they start off with...
Who we tipped to win, if you recall.
They were flying, last season, weren't they? So they line up with Sam Masters, Ryan Douglas, Nick Morris, Carl Howarth, Drew Kemp, Dan Thompson, Dan Gilks, obviously their rising star, Joe Thompson on 28 days as well. So with the injury, okay. So obviously the first thing that crops out there, they don't have the big hitter now in Max Frick, obviously with his move to Kings Lynn. So effectively, it's Nick Morris coming in to replace him. He's ridden for it for Leicester in the past and done well at Leicester, of course. So I thought showed promising his return after his ban last season, the second stages of last season. They've still been a nearly team, haven't they, in recent seasons? Leicester,
they have. We both thought they was really on such a hot run of form last year, but it just get like the year before, they run out just at the wrong moment.
They did, yeah. Unfortunately for them. Obviously, I've got obviously looking forward to seeing Leicester because with a few of the ex-Wolves riders in that team, it almost feels like a bit of an like a bit of a Wolves select, really, in a sense. Yeah, so I think you'd be a fool to write them off. Of course, Leicester, they've got a big home track advantage. It's a track that I think a lot of teams tend to sort of get spooked at a little bit when they go there. But I'm not so sure about Leicester this season. I just think
I think their track's tamed down a little bit. I don't think there is as much of that.
Yeah,
whether that's because people have got it now.
I think it's improved. I think
certainly
when obviously hopefully this season I should be going there because it is our closest track now. So
Northampton probably being the next.
Buxton as well, obviously. So, but obviously we'll talk about Buxton next week as they build.
I'm sure we will.
First meeting. So, yeah, I'm not quite so sure about Leicester this season, but we'll wait and see.
We shall wait and see, and that leaves.
Of course, we've already talked about Northampton, of course, so we'll just to reiterate for anybody who's joining us late. So their side, Niels Christian Everson, Nikolai Clint, Matty Zagar, Jaiman Lidsey, Kai Thompson, Troy Batchelor, and Luke Harris.
Yeah, all of those riders would be good riders in other teams. But as a team, possibly, which is what we said about Birmingham again last year, wasn't it? You know,
I mean, in fairness, a lot of people at the start of last season looked at the Birmingham side and thought that had potential, didn't they? On paper, it looked a decent side. It just never clicked, did it, for whatever reason?
not from day one.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be concerned about any team that's got Troy Batchelor in it for a start. He's not always the most reliable, is he? No. So, Matty Zagar, if he's showed glimpses last season for Birmingham,
possibly our best rider.
Well, arguably was really probably him or Keenan Rowe. Obviously, he's not back on British track at the moment, so maybe a bit of a surprise there. Niels Christiansen's got a huge level of experience as well. Nikolai Clinton won a good season, of course. It's been his testimonial year, so he'll want to make it a memorable one. But I think looking at Northampton, I wouldn't have them anywhere near challenging for a playoff place.
I think Northampton's saving grace this year is going to be people will want to come and see the track. So visiting, they'll get a lot of visiting supporters because it's a new track and a new place.
Because they've not got many home supporters, have they? So
they've
got to make sure that they promote that well going into the. I mean, they've got
20 days.
I think it's 30th of April. I think is their first league meeting, which is, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's against Kings Lynn, isn't it? So,
is it not a knockout cup?
Yeah,
I think. Yeah,
but it's not a league match. I know that. So there's some suggestions that maybe they would be better off maybe having a challenge meeting first, just to let their riders get a bit of use to the track.
By that point, everybody's been up and running for a little bit.
Yeah, they've got a couple of away meetings as well, admittedly, but. I just wonder whether I would imagine that they'll have time to practice as well.
I mean, I hope that what we're saying is totally wrong.
Yeah. Hopefully they have a good season. It's a roaring success because we certainly need that.
Okay, so...
And that takes us on to the last side, and that is, of course, the Sheffield Tigers. So, area of familiarity about their side, really. Jack Holder, Anders Rowe, Leon Flint, Chris Holder, Jai Etheridge, Josh Pickering, and their rising star is Luke Colleen.
Don't know much about Luke Colleen, if I'm honest. Going on yesterday's match against Bellevue, they didn't have to give him a run for the money.
Yeah, they did.
And Leon Flint had a good match. Has a really good start to the season.
Yeah, good rider. I like Leon Flint. Again, Chris Holder rode well in the Peter Graver meeting, didn't he? He was unbeaten. Obviously, probably should have won the Peter Graver meeting. Obviously, fell short in the final. Jack Holder has obviously made a lot of progress in recent seasons. I think the fact that both of the Holder brothers are racing there together, I think that's obviously helped as well. Josh Pickering, terrific rider to watch.
I love Josh Pickering. Love his attitude. He feels very much in the same vein as Jason Lyons to me.
Absolutely, yeah. And Jai Etheridge, a good solid rider. Again, a lot of Australians obviously there as well, the four Aussies. So, yeah, I'll look at Sheffield. I would say obviously they're probably the biggest threat to Bellevue. I mean, you've probably deduced from what I've said to Bellevue, I would say our favourites to win it. But I think Sheffield will certainly have a say in that.
Right. Now, I'm going to see how much attention Chris has been paying to what we've just been saying. He's not even listening now.
Sorry?
Because I'm going to say we're going to give our predictions now. So
Okay,
I would
then.
like your top four, please.
Right, okay then. Top four.
How much has he been listening now?
Okay. Paul? Oh, for God's sake, my first one, you're laughing.
Paul are not in this league.
Leicester?
Okay, I'm going to write this down.
Okay.
You're going 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 4, 3, 2, 1?
Yeah, both of them.
Who are you going to go first? Go 1, 2, 3,
Right,
4.
okay. Bellevue.
Bellevue. Okay, he has been listening.
Yeah. Paul on it. So Leicester.
Okay, he hasn't been listening.
Should I go for third?
Would you like me to go through the teams again?
Ipswich.
Ipswich, okay.
Okay, so just one more.
And should I go for real? Oh, no, they're not in it, are they? No. Go through them again. Quickly.
Bellevue, Sheffield, Ipswich, Kingsley, and Leicester and
Oh,
Northampton.
Kingsley, yeah, before my fourth one.
Kingsley, okay.
I was going to do them all along.
Okay, so that's yours. So my top four, I would go for Bellevue to win it, Sheffield second,
Yeah.
Ipswich third,
Okay.
Kingsley in fourth.
Okay. We've basically got the same. I've gone Bellevue, Sheffield, Kingsley in third, and Ipswich fourth. Is it really that predictable?
It's predictable because there's only 6 in it, isn't there? So we just want to
You just got to lose
we
two.
can get in a position really where we
It'll
can
be
try-
interesting to
We
see.
need to get in a position where we can get some more of these. We can try and get some of these closed tracks back as well. Obviously, we'll keep hoping that some of these campaigners that are trying to get these closed lotuses back can have some success. And then we can,
Right, well, we've got a few comments come up on the shout box.
I'm glad I can't see them, unfortunately. So
Okay, Jeff
Yep.
Daniel says, Dan Gilk's not fit enough to start the
Yeah.
season, still not fit from last season's hip injury, not sure when he's back riding for Paul and Leicester.
of course, missed nearly the entire season last season, didn't he? So
Paul have announced a replacement for him, Carl Newman,
yep,
and Leicester have gone with Joe Thompson, I
Yes, that's
believe.
right.
Yeah.
trying on a 28 day. Yep.
Good little opportunity for Joe Thompson.
Yeah, of course, back racing with his brother as well. Dan made a lot of progress last season, didn't he? So he really did come on in leaps and bounds, didn't he? Not just in the Premiership, but obviously in the Championship as well. So
David Albrighton says Luke Becker not riding this year.
yeah,
One of my favourite riders. I think obviously he wanted to come to Birmingham this year and couldn't, so that's what I'm going with.
okay.
One of my favourite riders. I love Luke Becker. Simon Corbett's given his top four, presumably in order: Sheffield, Ipswich, Bellevue, and Kings Lynn. So
Sheffield, Ipswich, Bellevue, Kings Lynn.
the same teams that we've gone for, but in slightly different
I
order.
think a lot of people are going to go for Bellevue or Sheffield. I just look at the top end of their side, so I think they're going to have the advantage.
all dependent upon that old Chestnut, of course, injury.
Yep.
Because if you lose, that's the one. I mean, that's the problem that Ipswich found a couple of years. If you lose your number one rider and he's a big rider,
It's difficult to replace them now,
Difficult to
isn't it?
replace
Because
it, yeah.
you know, obviously clubs, the riders now have got their whole seasons panned out, haven't they? So to then fit, if they're not racing in the UK, to suddenly then see if they can fit it into their schedule, it's not easy.
it's not easy at all. Darren Reynolds says, would love to see a national 4-team knockout competition with teams mixed from both leagues, with the final being staged at Northampton. Great promotion for a new club. I don't know how that would go down with who would go and watch that. If it's a team that's got not your ride, I don't understand who would go and watch that. I'd quite like a 4-team competition, and
Yeah.
I'd quite like it to be held over one day, and maybe at Northampton. That would be.
Well,
They used to do that,
the
didn't
Premier
they?
League fours, wasn't it? That was like the Premier League's big day out, wasn't it? The fours
Brilliant.
final
Loved
at
that day.
Peterborough. Of course, the fours in the National League as well, which Birmingham won, didn't they?
We did,
20
yes, at Coventry.
Yep. So
We won it in the Premier League as well, not in the Premiership as
was
it
it?
was.
Well, I think it was the pairs, wasn't it?
I think we've done both.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. And somebody's going to tell me I'm wrong now, and I'm talking
You're
through my
wrong.
bottom. David Albrun's gone for Ipswich, Bellevue, Leicester, and Sheffield.
Oh, okay. I'm not. As I say, I'm not completely sure on Leicester. Looking at their team now, I just think they've lost maybe something.
Chris Thorogood says Northampton's first home meeting versus Ipswich 30th of April will take a string travelling crowd as a pretty short hop from Suffolk. Looking forward to it. And I think that's going to be the saving grace.
Yeah, Ipswich travelled well, didn't they, last season? Certainly the meetings that they rode at Birmingham, there was plenty of Ipswich fans there. Obviously sniffing it away, I mean, I think as well. But it's, in fairness, it's Ipswich is a long old way from anywhere else, really, isn't it? I mean, I've done that. I've done that journey.
It's horrible.
It is.
It's a really long, arduous journey. So
Chris Thorogood says Sheffield, so he's going on his prediction earlier. South Sheffield to win it, Bellevue second, Northampton sixth. Hard to split the rest for me.
Yeah, I just think with Northampton, I think they need a good season to sort of keep people's, with a new team. It's a brand new team, and they're losing every week. It's going to be difficult to sort of keep hold of a crowd, isn't it? Because they need to rely as well on certainly in the initial period of neutral fans.
Yeah,
making the journey down as well. I don't know whether there's any plans for any events to be any individual events to be staged there later in the season. I suppose a lot of it depends on how successful.
There's no fixture list, is there, for them, as far as I'm aware? Or is that, so that's, yeah. Lawrence Rogers says, and we should, not the only new track opening up, or reopening in this case. Buxton reopens on Sunday. 3 p.m, the Regina Chain 4s, Buxton versus Potters versus Kings versus Wolves. I'm very, very upset that there's not a Brummies team in there. But, hey-ho. Plus MDL individual, 24 heats of Speedway, adults 15, concessions 13, students 17 to 22, £10, juniors and children 16 and under free.
Bargain.
So there you go.
You've forgotten to put on the end, Lawrence, take a coat.
Yes.
Definitely take a coat at this time of the year. Well, if it's in July, take a coat.
I mean, what I've seen, the pictures I've seen of Buxton, it looks a much better track than it used to be.
I'm presuming that temporary standing that they've installed there is the stand that was at Perry Bar, wasn't it?
It looks like it, yeah.
So, but no, I've seen, there's obviously, been a fixtures, photographs of the place during the winter, obviously, as it's been developed. A lot of the older structures there have been sort of torn down. I think, they are putting a big effort into sort of trying to, Buxton's never going to be a major club, is it all? It's, that's how it came about. It was one of these clubs where they developed riders and then sold them on at a profit. That's how they kept them going until they decided to stop NDL clubs having assets.
Yeah.
Which Graham Drury wasn't happy about, I remember.
And I think, in truth, that's what Lawrence Rogers is good at.
Yeah.
Promoting that sort of ground up riders and so on. I know what I'm trying to say here. It's just the words not coming out.
We haven't got a clue.
No,
I think Lawrence found it, certainly in the top league, I think Lawrence found it tough, didn't they, the last couple of years, like everybody else at Birmingham. But I think this is the league where, if he was honest, I think this is the league where he's happiest. Yeah,
and Lawrence has said, promoting as ever. Yep. Good hats and scarves on sale for warmth. Good. So there you go. You're going to need them if you go, I promise you. Yep. Phil Taylor says Sheffield, Bellevue, Ipswich and Kings Lynn. You do know, guys, that we are saving these up and we're all going to go, ha, 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 at the end of the season.
Mainly at me.
Mainly at you, yeah. Fred Graham said he's sorry I'm late on tonight. Really enjoyable meeting at the Ben Fund, which we should talk about in a moment, with some decent racing considering the poor weather during the day. Our new Dane, Kevin Yule Pedersen, put in a decent performance. I think the championship will be a hard one to call this year. And yet we did. But I'm not telling you what we said in case we're wrong again. Pete Clark says Buxton High Edge Raceway twinned with Ice Station 0. Well, it did at the weekend. Okay. Thanks for that, Pete. Okay, well, Ben Fund. I haven't heard how much they've made. I don't know whether that's been announced yet. And what
I believe there is something on here, so... right, so they haven't actually confirmed any numbers. There has been a thank you from the Ben Fund. Speedway Riders Benevolent Fund Chairman Paul Ackroyd has reflected on a highly successful Bonanza staging at Glasgow on Saturday. New Edinburgh signing Dan Thompson triumphed on his old home track of Ashfield, defeating Kevin Yule Pedersen, Peter Kilderman and Justin Sedgman in the final of a meeting which provided great racing despite rain earlier in the day. Ackroyd said, "We got away with the weather. I was getting a little anxious as the morning went on. A massive thank you to Glasgow Speedway and the Facinas for their generosity in every way to help make the meeting successful financially. Also, Andy Meredith for his team work done on the track to ensure we got the meeting on. It certainly produced some half-decent racing as the meeting went on." So, not seeing anything, obviously in terms of the what was raised. But of course, it was a huge. Obviously, you know, the Ben Fund is one of the best things that's happened, I think, in British Speed. I think it's it's definitely very, very important, because, you know, there's some riders who need that, because their careers end. And
well, we've already had a couple of injuries.
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
year.
So
good meeting for Justin Sedgman.
Yeah, and I think as well. I think it's worth saying as well. Obviously, the presentation. I think that's as Paul Ackroyd says, it's reinforced the fact that Glasgow are very capable of staging big meetings with their organisation. I mean, this is a club, if you believe the rumours, are very keen on getting a Grand Prix there.
Okay.
So, which would be
why not?
Absolutely, why not? It's a fantastic racetrack.
Yeah. I see no problem.
I certainly think it's comparable to Bellevue in terms of racing.
Mm-hmm. And be nice. I mean, I know then when we're essentially taking a GP away from Bellevue, but
yeah,
no other track has two, do they? I can't think of.
No, well, obviously that in Europe when we had COVID, of course, they had the Friday two Grand Prix over a weekend, but. No, it'd be nice to have a second sort of British track that's capable of staging big meetings other than Bellevue. I think there's some frustration that Bellevue keep getting all these big meetings, to be honest. But I know it's obviously the National Speedway Stadium, but
it's not really though, is it? It's Bellevue Speedway.
Yeah, so
I mean,
probably a caveat to getting it there, though, wasn't it? So having it called that.
Yeah, it absolutely was. I know it was because Graham Drury told me it was. So, yeah. Dino says, as many laps as I've done around Buxton, the weather on Sunday was a shock to the system, but it's going to be great next Sunday.
Good.
So there you go. Of course it is. It's a bank holiday weekend. It's always sunny on a bank holiday weekend. What was the result at the Ben Fund? In the end, I know top score was Justin Sedgman. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's Dan Thompson, Kevin Neil Pedersen, Peter Gilderman and Justin Sedgman. Obviously, they were the four finalists.
Pedersen was good news for a sign for Glasgow?
Yep.
Good news for them?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, we obviously said, I think obviously it's on record anyway. I think we obviously predicted Glasgow to be certainly competitive again. Got agonisingly close last season in that memorable final against Poole. We just missed out. So,
well, we shall see how that goes.
Okay. Just to reiterate, obviously, of course, the National League is going to be coming up. We obviously will be talking about National League during the course of this season as well. Obviously, with Buxton in particular. That's obviously your adopted team.
My adopted team for this year.
Yep. So, yeah, hopefully they do well. You know, Buxton obviously was a great little story last time, wasn't it? And it's just a shame that it petered out the way that it did. But the good news, of course, is it's still there, and they've managed to sort of get something back running again.
I'll just for any riders going there, shut off a little bit earlier when you're going downhill.
Yeah, it catches a few riders out, doesn't it? They just wonder why they're picking up speed as they're going only one way and then slowing down the other way. So,
Lauren Rogers says it's a balmy 11 degrees forecast for next week. So
that's fun weather.
Yeah, only take 3 coats.
Yep. Yeah, take it from me, having been there, it is cold. It doesn't matter what time of the year you go.
Yeah, because you're on top of a sort of hill, aren't you?
It's a pretty unique venue, isn't it? It's lovely scenery around there. It's a great, lovely drive. There's nothing at all around there. I mean, there's no real home fans around there because they don't live anywhere near. It's a tiny little place as well. So
yeah, it's you should go at least once. Yeah, it's that sort of a place. David Albrun's got a good question. Albrighton, are tracks going to cancel meetings when the World Cup football is on? I don't necessarily think they'll need to because the time zones are going to be...
Absolutely, yeah.
They're going to be on strange times, these games are.
So I'm not sure that they'll need to be honest.
Some of them are kicking off at midnight and stupid.
I think a lot of it's going to depend on how England do, and it's
a lot of it's going to depend on what Donald Trump's going to do. But perhaps we won't go into
probably best not to go into that. I don't think so.
We'll get to our normal quarterfinals.
Right. So in a few minutes, we're going to go over. We're going to start doing the prediction league for this week.
Yep.
So before we do that,
I have put the link if anybody's missed it. For
I was just about to say before we do that, I think we're going to get Chris to put the link back up on the shout box, because it'd be nice for guys to fill it in as we're doing it.
Yeah.
Is what I'm thinking. So if you want to,
Can you put it on your show box?
Oh, I've already done it.
Oh, right, okay.
I've already done it, yeah. So,
Good stuff.
well, I'm still not seeing any comments. That's the last comment I can see. So,
Oh, mate.
which is a bit.
Just refresh.
nobody wants to talk to you.
Yeah, you might have to refresh then. Right, okay. Get rid of all this rubbish. And I'll put, league
But-
up as well.
In the meantime, while we're sorting that out, shall we have a look at where the league table actually stands at the moment, please?
Yeah, sure.
Can we do that, please?
We can do.
Can
Yeah, don't worry about
we?
that. I think Webby has got the.
I'm doing it.
Okay. Can't multitask. Come on.
Oh dear. I can't
So I've
can't
got,
think why I'm so excited about seeing it. I'm not normally.
So is that bit first? What's that bit?
That's the overall table. So,
I'll let
Okay.
you
And then we got this bit.
take over at this point.
yep. So obviously it's still early days, of course. So I've got 4-way tie at the top of 4 points. Say that because I'm there. So, yeah, so. And there's obviously the results for last week. So Andrew, Skippy, Gordon, and Chris all correctly predicting 48-42 for Bellevue last night.
Get in there.
Yeah, I mean, you went for the ridiculous 70-20 and you still got a point out of it. So.
And was closer than the rest of us, I think.
That's just so good.
Have you had a practice on the thing? Because I know you put your scores in again already. So
Yeah.
I haven't, so I'm making notes now.
okay,
Unless you want to put mine in for me as I say them, but it doesn't matter. I'll do it afterwards.
okay, right. So we have a few fixtures this week coming up. So first of all, starting on Thursday, we have got the second leg of the Premiership KO Cup Northern Section, Sheffield against Bellevue.
Who went first last week?
I did.
Okay, so Chris, you'll go first.
Bellevue. I've already put mine up, haven't I?
You have, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember what I put there.
Oh well, you just have to make it up again. Won't
Okay,
you?
then I'm going to go Bellevue by 10.
Okay. Well, obviously your scores will go on there. So
Okay.
okay. So I went for Bellevue. I went for Sheffield to win by 6. So that would necessitate a runoff.
That would be a runoff. Yeah. I'm going to go. A lot depends on Bladorn and or what replacement that they have. Sheffield by 8, just to be different, because we've got to split somewhere.
Okay. Yeah. Webby, you went for Bellevue to win by 10, by the way.
Oh, I was spot on, wasn't I?
Were you? I don't think
Yeah.
you were. Oh, I think you were.
Yeah, were.
Blimey.
Yeah, see, memory. Incredible.
Memory, I'd love one.
No, sorry, you went for Sheffield to win by 10, not Bellevue to win by 10.
Oh, right, okay.
All right, so I'm looking at
I
the
think it
wrong
was
one.
of
So.
them.
Okay.
You knew it was one of them.
Okay, so next one is the BSN Series Southern Section. And this is going to be an interesting one, actually. Poole against Plymouth. This is definitely the strongest side that Plymouth have had in that league since
It is,
they've moved
yeah.
up.
I guess it's up to me to give it, and I'm going to say Poole by 10.
Okay. I went Poole by 12, and Webby went for Plymouth by 10.
You're probably going to be right.
I know. It's a lottery, isn't it, really?
No, it's Speedway.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Much less predictable.
So the next one in the BSN series, in the Scottish section, that's Edinburgh against Berwick.
Okay.
Okay, I went for Berwick to win by 4.
And I bet you I went for Edinburgh to win by 12.
No, you went for Berwick to win by 24. I think we need to get you some more practice on this, don't we? So,
I thought I grasped it this week. Isn't it?
I'm going to say...
you might not finish as bottom presenter this season, Gio, so the way things are going. So.
I don't like this new system.
Edinburgh by 8.
Okay, I went for Edinburgh to win by 18. Big win for the home side. Okay, so the next one is the Workington Comets against Redcar Bears. That's in the BSN Series Northern Section.
Okay, Chris, that's up to you.
Oh, what did I go for? No, hang on. Let me have a guess. Who are the teams?
This is, you've got a whole new game now.
Yeah, no, yeah. If I get it right, I get an extra point. It's somebody by 12.
Just a bit out.
24.
What did he actually do?
You've gone for a red card to win 58-32.
Possible.
Yep. That's the red card are the away team, by the way. So, yeah.
That's my closest one so far.
I'm going to say Workington by 6.
Okay, I went for a red card to win by 2. Okay, BSN Scottish Series then in the return meeting, Berwick against Edinburgh.
Who was that again? Sorry, I was reading the...
Berwick against Edinburgh.
Okay.
That's the return.
And that's up to me, isn't it?
Yeah. You'll remember these because obviously you'll be putting them on yourself, won't you? So
Yeah, that's why I'm writing them down.
enough. All right.
So I'll say Berwick by 6.
I've gone for Berwick by 2 on that one.
Oh, God, what did I put? Very
Phil
well.
Taylor says, good man, Webby. Plymouth 10, top man.
Yeah, well, you know.
I
know what I'm
know
talking
from
about.
going down there that the Plymouth fans are not fans of Poole, to be honest. But
Did I go for Berwick by 24?
no, you went for Edinburgh to win by 2.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
That's not a bad
That's,
prediction.
Yeah.
this one.
Okay, then on the next one, that's on Saturday. That's Poole against Plymouth against Poole. That's the return of the week.
Up to the...
Okay, I went for Plymouth to win by 4.
And I went
Okay.
for Plymouth to win by 20.
Is that what it is?
Not too far off, actually. You went for Plymouth to win by 16.
Oh,
Okay.
another one that could happen.
I'm going to say, first one of the year, are you ready for it?
Draw.
I think,
I bet Phil, I bet you're dancing around the room listening to Webby's predictions.
I think people are tuning in just to listen to my predictions.
That's the idiot going to say this week.
Yeah,
So.
I'm the novelty this week.
Okay,
I've
right.
just had
So
a really interesting idea. But
we've got the 2 more matchings on Easter Monday. So again, on Easter Monday, bank holiday, we've only got 2 fixtures, which is not really ideal, is it? So bank holiday is obviously the
Good God.
on time for Speedway. So the first one is at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. That's Bellevue against Leicester. This is in the Premiership Knockout Cup.
That's up to you, Chris.
I would have gone for Bellevue by at least 16, I reckon.
You've gone for Bellevue to win by 28. Which I really wouldn't be a surprise, to be fair.
Oh, right, yeah.
That's good.
I
I'm going to say Bellevue by 18.
ain't that far off.
Okay, I've gone for Bellevue to win by 16. On that one. And then the final one is the return meeting in the evening. That's at Leicester against the Aces.
Okay. Bim, bim, bim. I'll say Leicester by 2.
I've gone for Leicester by 6.
I've probably gone for Leicester by 24.
You've gone for Bellevue by 20.
I'm going to study it next week.
Yeah, probably not be a bad idea. So.
Yeah.
Well, you haven't been the bottom presenter yet in the years we've been doing
No,
it. So
I haven't, no.
obviously, that's been held by another member of the team. So
Yes. But currently, I'm riding where?
you're on joint top at
There
the
you
moment.
go.
So.
There we go.
It's only 2 weeks ago, admittedly. So, fairness in fairness, there's not been that many fixtures either. There's only been 3 fixtures so far. So, but obviously we've got the Easter period coming up, so there's going to be a few weeks. But I have to say, I am disappointed how few fixtures there are on Easter Monday.
Yeah, that's a bit strange.
Bank
isn't it?
holiday. Usually you got about 10 fixtures alone on that day, don't you? I know there's not that many teams in the league, so
Well, over 2 leagues, you would have thought there'd be more.
yeah.
I don't. It's not great. It's a shame, and also how few fixtures there are this early in the season as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the Premiership has started late for obvious reasons, but even so, come the end of the season, they're going to be rushing to get matches in again, like they do every single season.
Yeah, it's very disappointing, isn't it? So, but Just the way things are. I mean, yeah, obviously it's been a bit of a stop-start to the season. Of course, it's a stop-start because of the nature of the fact that it's taken so long. Yeah,
and all the rest of it. We have some comments, I believe. God, that didn't. My eyes no good at all. Pete Clark says Fred Graham and all Glasgow fans will be welcome to visit Buxton whenever they want, but it will be a brave Scot to wear a kilt. I don't think it will be. Have you been to Scotland? It's cold. And Phil says, he says, I am a brave Scot.
Yep. Okay. Just to point out as well, obviously, one meeting that we didn't mention, it was a challenge meeting, so it's not on the official fixtures, obviously, that we're doing on the Prediction League, but of course that is Oxford against Coventry Bees Select tomorrow night. That obviously starts Oxford's season, so I'd have a look at the teams for that one. So Oxford line up with Sam Masters, Mitch McDermott, Ryder replacements. On the opening night of the season, there's Ryder replacement operating. Anders Rowe, Luke Colleen, Eric Riss, Max Perry and Dale Wood. And their team manager is Peter Schroek. And for the Bees, they've got Chris Harris, Jody Scott, Leon Flint, Luke Harrison, Dan Thompson, Ashton Vale, Senna Summers, and their team manager, returning to Cowley, of course, a club where he was an absolute legend, Hans Nielsen, as the opposition team manager. Well, of course, he did have a very brief spell with Coventry in the mid-90s. That was obviously where he finished his British career.
I did not realise that.
93, 94, I think he drove for Coventry. So I imagine there'll be hopefully they get some good weather for that, because I would imagine there'll be plenty of Coventry fans making the trip down there.
Probably a few fans just making the trip down there for Hans Nielsen being there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but again, you think about it, Coventry and Oxford back in the 80s, they had a massive rivalry, didn't they? Mm-hmm. Really, really did. They were I think they, won league championships. I think obviously Oxford won 85 and 86. I think Coventry won 87 and 88, and Oxford again in 89. So they were the two.
They were always vying
with Cradley as well. Those three clubs, not too far between the three of them either. Great rivalry between between those three clubs during that period of time. So it'd be nice to. It'd be nice to see plenty of Coventry fans down there, and of course, obviously there's still a lot of things happening with Coventry to try and sort of wrest control of Brandon Stadium back from Brandon Estates.
Still lots of stuff going on there with that at the moment.
Yeah,
it's a minefield. Fingers crossed.
Yep.
Fingers crossed with Swindon as well.
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
And I'd love to hear some news about something with Birmingham, but it's just been quiet. Yeah. Hey ho. Right, well
then.
There we go. I mean, the season is finally up and running.
Sort of.
Yes. This is my trying to be positive bit here. Mm-hmm. No, that's it.
Okay.
The season is finally up and running. We've seen a bit of Speedway going on.
Yep.
Just the final bit in the jigsaw now is what happens at Northampton. I think we're all
hopefully
got a vested interest.
Yeah,
with that
let's hope it is a success, because I think it needs to be successful. I think to retain interest, certainly locally. I think if the Northampton people turn up there and they're losing every week, I think the novelty's going to run off very, very quickly. So they certainly need to be competitive at home. I think probably not so much away. It's not going to be such much of an issue, but certainly at home they're going to need to get some good results. Somebody
a bit earlier asked a question on the shout box. I'm not sure who it was about. The rumours are that all of the other 5 promoters have a stake in Northampton.
Yes.
And I have heard those rumours as well, and it's sort of been implied a little what Phil Morris has said. It feels like a desperation move, doesn't it?
Well, it's to prop the league up, isn't it? It's as simple as that.
It's almost as if maybe they don't care whether they do okay. Who knows? So I'm rooting for them anyway. I hope they have a good season.
Yeah, I think all the neutrals will want to see them do well, won't they? So
yeah. Paul had rider replacement on Saturday at Plymouth.
I just saw that from Skipper, yeah. So
due to Polish commitments. If ever the phrase "only in Speedway" was apt, I don't know what to say. Well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap up the show, guys.
Yep.
Good luck to everybody with your Speedway this week.
Yep. Keep posting your predictions as well. So obviously the link has been shared again. So and the link for fixtures week 4 will go up on Saturday morning.
Have a drink.